Officials ain't going to be perfect. They ain't going to make every call. Everybody's like, oh, that was a face mask on Dallas Goddard. No, it wasn't. You know why? Because they didn't throw the goddamn flag. All right? So it wasn't a face mask.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to New Heights, a Jukes original show presented by Wave Sports and Entertainment. New Heights is a show that speaks stats into existence. Shout out to the 92% that really isn't 92%, but now is 92% thanks to the Buffalo game. That 8% was on showcase, baby. We are your hosts. I'm Travis Kelce. This is my big bro, Jason Kelce, out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio. University of Cincinnati Bearcats, baby. New Heights comes to you every single Wednesday with a new episode. And please subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. And as always, follow the show on all social platforms at New Heights Show. Jason, what we got coming up? I hope it's a good one.
Well, as always, we got a great episode, Trav. We'll recap how the Chiefs offense kept it rolling against the Jaguars. The Eagles finally hitting our first setback. Fuck!
Yeah, I know that one.
And how our quarterback sneak agenda took a hit this weekend. Thanks, Bills and Vikings. But first, as always, New news. Still the number one podcast in the world. Well, sports. Number one for sports. But we also have cracked into the top 10 for overall podcasts this past week. Thanks to our Jalen Hurts interview, which did extremely well.
It was awesome.
I guess Jalen Hurts conversation. Really not an interview. It was just a great convo with us three. Who should we get next, you think? I think there's one person everybody wants. It just, are you man enough to ask? Really, is what it comes down to.
No. I am. Yeah, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask him. I think I've asked already. I kind of like hinted at it. I was like, "Hey, Pat, do you like the show?" He said, "Yeah." So it's like, "Yeah, come on on."
Well, you got to do it. You got to do it in the Pat voice.
No, I'm not doing it in the Pat voice.
That's not how
you get Pat on. That's not how you get Pat on.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That was like that was like the one thing I did his rookie year. Like, there's no hazing in Coach Reed's like locker rooms. Like, there's no like, oh, the rookies got to do this. Like, you get like seniority and like taping lines and like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or like hotel rooms and shit.
Sure.
But you don't get like, the rookies don't have to do stuff. You know what I mean? It's not expected. But the one thing I just made fun of Pat was every single time he spoke up in like a meeting or anything like that, I would just
you're just a bully. So this
no,
is
no,
come on. You're just a big bully.
What? It's my guy. It's one of my best friends. I just gotta, right time, right place, baby. Right time,
I was talking to Jalen after the episode launched, and he said, "Who you guys getting next?" And I was like, I think probably try and get Pat. He's like, "Y'all should definitely do Pat." So Jalen's on the Pat train too. So
nice, man.
Let's make it happen.
Jaylen. Let's make it happen. You heard it here, Pat.
Other names being thrown out. Andy Reid. God, that would be awesome.
That'd be sweet, man. It's a tough ask.
It's an intimidating man.
It's a tough ask. I don't know. That's the one where I'm like, what do I go? Hey, coach.
Hey, just ask. You just ask.
I'm not a good asker, man.
It's like when you asked, whoever you asked the middle school dance in, 8th grade. You just go up and worst that can happen is they say no, right?
Yeah, and you go to the dance alone.
Yeah. And Andy's the Great White Buffalo. It's you got to go up there. You got to go up.
The Great White Walrus. The Great White Walrus.
If you need me to, I will text him so that you don't have to ask.
That would make it a lot easier.
If you are not
get the bug in
you are not man enough to go up and ask him yourself.
The guy's busy, Jason. Okay, we just heard from Joe Thomas what it takes to be an NFL head coach. Okay, he might be a little busy
It's true.
Early on in the week. Okay,
then he just says no, right? Back in the
he
same
says
spot
no
we're
with
in right
the
now.
eyebrow, like, no.
Why are you are you focused on the right things, Travis?
You need to lock the fuck in, Travis. I said the story about the draft story last week with the Jalen episode, and I said it, and Coach Reed doesn't cuss like that. Okay, I kind of like elaborated on it a little bit more than I probably should have. So he doesn't cuss like that, especially not the first time he meets somebody or first time he talks to somebody when they're getting drafted. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, we all of these stories that we tell have been somewhat adapted to our language, just so everyone knows. And other names that have been thrown out there, Landon Dickerson. Landon would be tremendous. You want to talk about a character, an all-around just unbelievable dude. He'd be a lot of fun. Bo Allen. Both know
We were
Bo
just talking
very
about
well.
Bo, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Used to call him Honey Boo Boo. The
That's a big old Honey Boo Boo right there.
dude, he was the best. Still doing it strong over there with Chris Long. He'd be an awesome guest. Nick Sirianni. I mean, come on now.
Love to get the old ball coach on here.
He already
Talk
did
some
the Pat
analytics.
McAfee show.
You know it.
Might be tough to get him on another one, but that would be awesome. C. Long.
One
on
of them good brothers. One of them good brothers in the league, baby.
Dude, you want to talk about a guy super knowledgeable, smart, charismatic, funny, good looking. I don't know that we should have him on because he's going to take away from – I mean, it's too dominating of a presence. Gosh.
We got to definitely keep it slotted. We can't have him on here for more than –
And then the other name that's kind of being thrown around is Lane Johnson, which let me tell you, there's a story with Lane Johnson, which is really his whole life that needs to be told. You want to talk about a character and just an all-around awesome dude. Lane Johnson, yeah, we should definitely get Lane on at some point.
I'm
That would be
definitely
tremendous.
game to get Lane in this joint.
Well, now that we're done with that, let's go on to some more of the fan base names.
Ooh, we got some more good ones for you guys.
We got some more good ones.
I love it.
All right, LVZ. What about the Heights Pound?
The Heights
For the
Pound.
dogs who love the game the way you both play. Well, I think
the way you described that made it sound way cooler than the initial thought of it. But I like it.
it's an ode to the dog pound and the Cleveland roots.
For sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in the dog pound?
I have not. I've never actually been to a Cleveland Browns game. Well, actually, I take that back. I went to your guys' game against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. But yeah, definitely wasn't in the dog pound.
Scored twice in the dog pound.
Yeah. Did you go in it?
I almost jumped in there. I didn't want to take a beer to the head though.
You didn't do the Lake Erie leap?
No, no, I didn't. I'm respectful. When it comes to Cleveland sports, very respectful.
369 has the flankers.
Damn you fine. Let me talk about it one more time. Get low. 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 From the window. To the wow. To the wow. To the. All right. What you got
Jamie
for us,
Shell.
369? Flankers? The flankers?
Yeah.
I mean, story of my life, man.
Yeah.
I'm with it. You're not much
bad.
of a flanker, though. You're just a very
not a
tactical, straight on.
No tact. It's just straight.
I don't know, man. Them QB sneaks. I heard there's a tactic to it. We might get to that a little later.
There's tactic, but it ain't flanking. I'll tell you that.
I love it.
Jamie Shell has New Heights Knuckleheads, little ode to PTI, probably my favorite sports. Is that a sports talk show? Is that what we would call that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Loved PTI growing up, and I do like that New Heights Knuckleheads. It's got a good ring to it, but
It does.
I don't know if that's too much of a steal off of them and Wilbon and Kornheiser. Zach Law, why not combine both your nicknames and call us the Sexy Yetis? Sexy Batman and Yetis. Sexy Yetis. I like that.
Sexy Yetis. It's clever. It's very creative, Zach.
Yeah. Alex McDonald, the Wedge Unit.
That's pretty damn good.
Wedging this new news up in you every week, baby.
Locking arms.
Here comes new news, baby. Go. All right, here we go.
I like it, man. Keep them coming, baby. I'm honestly, at this point, I don't even know if we'll ever actually settle on one because we enjoy reading your guys' suggestions.
There's just so many good ones. We'll put it to a fan vote eventually. But right now we're having too much fun. We're having too much fun reading them, so keep them coming.
Moving forward to fan mentions of the week. So we got at Bubbly Fizz. If football didn't exist, what do you think each of you would be doing right now? That's a great question. I've actually thought about this a lot, and I still can't think. Yeah, no, I don't know. I would think school might not have been the route for me. So I think if I didn't go to college for football, I'd probably just get into Cleveland manual labor, man. I don't know. I don't know what else there would. I didn't have a lot of fun doing a lot of other things other than sports. So playing B and C were always just another sport for me.
Well, you did have one other job besides football. When you were off football, you were a telemarketer. So you were somebody that I think is universally hated by everybody on the planet.
Yeah. Except for people that did not like Obamacare in the southern Ohio, northern Kentucky, and eastern Indiana areas. If you didn't like Obamacare, man, I was taking surveys over the phone, and there were numerous times I had a older gentleman or woman that just loved to fill up the comment section. You know what I mean? This is what I think about. All right, let's calm down here. I would just have to cut them off. Like, there's no more. I can't add any more to the comments. So you filled up that one. Let's get to the next question. It was pretty draining, man. It was pretty draining.
How many people gave you the Ed Kelce treatment, where they just like acted like they were interested into it, and then while you're like giving them, you're like, get out of here, and then just like hang up.
I got clicked on all the time, dude, for sure. When you do get one of those calls, you hear them like go right into reading the prompt, because that's what you're doing. You're reading what's on the screen in front of you and like clicking so that like everything's documented. Man, I would try and get to the start of the comments or the questions real quick, and just in the middle of the first sentence, just click. Hello? Next caller.
Dude. Dad used to take out whatever rage was inside of his heart on any telemarketer that called. He just, oh yeah, what do you got? Okay, don't ever call me again. What are you, like, why, you piece of shit? What are you on this phone for? No.
Where'd you get this number?
I'm overdoing this a little bit. But Dad was definitely not nice to the telemarketers. He hated telemarketers.
He definitely chopped them down.
And to be honest, I think now that everybody has a phone that telemarketers can reach you at nonstop, I'm kind of on the dad bandwagon. I cannot stand.
Wait, time out. Back to, you can't stand them. Back to what you would be doing, though. What would you be doing if football didn't exist? I
have no idea. I would probably be, I don't know. I'd probably be hanging sheetrock or freaking, I have no idea. I act like I am, but I can't do any of that right now. I got to a point in college where I realized that if I don't play, I'm just going to coach football. So it's hard to really even think about what else I would be doing.
Yeah, I don't even know what else I would get into. Hopefully I enjoy it, though.
I'm sorry that was not an exciting answer.
Sorry, guys.
Before we move on, you guys know we say a lot of stuff on this show that we probably should keep private. But oversharing is how we became the #1 sports podcast in the world, baby. But there is one place we absolutely want to make sure our privacy is being protected, and that's online. That's why when I'm at home looking at film or going through the playbook, I never go online without using ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is an app that reroutes your internet connection through their secure servers so your ISP can't see the sites you visit. Because we don't know what team our service provider routes for, but with ExpressVPN, it doesn't matter. And we know our info isn't getting shared. Most of the time, I don't even realize I have ExpressVPN on. It runs seamlessly in the background. All you have to do is tap one button and boom, you're protected. ExpressVPN is available on all of your devices, so there's no excuse for you to not be using it. Protect your online activity today with VPN rated #1 by Business Insider. Visit our exclusive link at expressvpn.com/New Heights. And you can get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/New Heights. expressvpn.com/New Heights to learn more. Trav, it's officially November, and do you know what that means?
Way ahead of you on this one, big bro. It's National Veterans and Military Families Month, which is why our sponsor DraftKings and the Pat Tillman Foundation have partnered together to give you an easy and fun way to make an impact.
All you have to do is sign up on DraftKings using our promo code New Heights. Enter the Pat Tillman free-to-play pool throughout November, and DraftKings will donate $1 for every entry up to $20,000 to the Pat Tillman Foundation.
Making a huge impact really is that simple. signing up and using the promo code New Heights. Play in DraftKings Pat Tillman free-to-play pool through November, and DraftKings will donate $1 for every entry up to $20,000 to the Pat Tillman Foundation.
All donations to the fantastic Pat Tillman Foundation will go towards empowering military veterans and spouses through academic scholarships. All righty, let's get back to the show.
Teeing up 12 bold topics to wrap up week 10 in the NFL. This is how we do it. I always tee up topics on Jason's game, and he does the same for me. Jason, you want to start us off?
Sure. Well, Trav, you guys play the Jaguars this week. Big win, 27-17.
Dub City, baby.
The real stat of the Chiefs offense was 10 different players have now caught a touchdown for the Chiefs this year, marking the most in any team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Pat spreads that ball around.
He sure does.
Kadarius Toney breakout game. Kadarius, 90 yards from scrimmage. Only you had more.
The Joker.
Yep. 5 targets, most of any receiver. First career touchdown. And he had an unbelievable warm-up. Unbelievable warm-up where he's adjusting his gloves, catching punts, and makes it seem pretty effortless.
Yeah, the one you're talking about is when he adjusted his glove mid-route as the ball's in the air. He's just kind of looking at it like, I'm going to come down with this thing in a second, make sure these gloves are on here. There we go. And then just levitated and just like froze in the air while the ball came to him. It was crazy. It was wild. And then Moss 2 guys, and we scored on like the next play or something like that.
Well, of all of the stats that are mentioned around the Chiefs offense, is there one stat that means the most, Trav?
Yeah, the win column.
It's a good stat.
In terms of other stats, I mean, I always just equate it to how do you lose games? Turnovers, third down conversions. Are we scoring touchdowns or are we kicking field goals? Those are all the important ones. Like, are we converting third downs? Are we winning situational football games? And at the end of the day, are we turning the ball over? And as our offense right now, we're rolling. We had a couple turnovers, and obviously you want to clean up everything, but guys are just out there playing with all the passion for the guys next to him, and that's the funnest part, man. Is that even when we kind of have a hiccup or we fumble, Isaiah Pacheco had a fumble in the red zone, but immediately after that, Coach Reed says, "Now, first play, next drive, go ahead, young man, get your rocks off and run that thing downhill like we know you know how to." Because I mean, after that, after you turn the ball over or something like that, the first thing you want to do is get the ball and just run your tail off and show everybody that you are accountable for that kind of stuff, or you are accountable with the ball in your hands. And sure enough, I mean, he had a hell of a day after that.
How has your role changed in the Chiefs offense?
I feel like the beauty of the tight end position is that it's so universal. You can put us anywhere. You can have us do a lot of different things, whether it's to get ourselves open or whether it's to get somebody else open. There were multiple times on a third down on a big time, drive where Coach Reed knows that they're going to bracket me. They're going to be on high alert of where I am. In situations like that, man, it's just sometimes it's better to just use me as a decoy or just use me to gather up as much coverage as I can. And that goes along with the intentions of the play caller. Now, I'm still trying to get open, but at the end of the day, if I can get somebody else open for a bigger gain or for, to get the job done, like get a third down conversion or something like that, I'm doing that 100% of the time. And that's the fun about playing the position, is that you can help out everybody else by just doing your job, and whether it's catching the ball, blocking for somebody downfield, or getting somebody open in terms of routes. But I don't think it's necessarily evolved into anything. I just think every single week Coach Reed finds ways that we can attack a defense and become successful, understanding that this is what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and stop me and Pat, knowing that me and Pat on third downs have had one of the highest third down conversion rates like in the league since Pat's been here. So they know that stat is out there. They know that Pat, is very aware of where we're at, and they know that Coach Reed likes to dial me up on third down. So that's where you just put all the trust in the coach's hands, and you just do your job, man. You be a good teammate.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why it's easy to put your trust into one of the best play callers of all time, in Andy Reid.
Yeah.
So, speaking of calls, let's talk about non-calls. Juju Smith-Schuster took a shot from Jaguars safety Andre Cisco.
Man, you hate to see it, man.
Yeah, and obviously the flag went out initially, gets picked up. What are your thoughts when a teammate goes down like that?
I mean, it just rips your heart out, man. Especially the way it goes down. That's never, easy to see. Not ever easy to be a part of.
Well, later in the game, Cisco, underlay, mama, uh-oh.
That's
Nelly.
not Cisco. That's
Fuck.
not Cisco. I don't know how you missed your favorite song, the thong song.
That's it.
How did you miss the
God.
thong song?
I've only slept for 2 hours, all right? I'm on low sleep. Cisco and Nelly have got to be, it's the same era. Come on, give me a break. Anyway, Cisco made another violent hit on Chiefs wide receiver Marquez Scantling.
Yes.
Gosh.
You said it right.
I know, but I'm just, there's so many hyphenations. All right. Sent to the blue tent.
I love you, Quez, man. I'm glad you're good, dog. But that was not an easy one to see either.
Other Chiefs reaction, Justin Reed, we were pissed. Is that accurate?
Yeah, no, everybody on the sideline and everybody in the game was pissed. We kind of had a moment where we were like, yo, let's rally around the ball. Let's make sure we take care of our guys, man, because this is getting out of hand. There's a lot of those kind of momentum switches, like those are boosters when you have big hits like that. And I think Juju's was the ball came out. Quez big third down that we didn't convert. So it's just stuff like that, momentum wise, and then on top of that, we just got to protect our guys. We can't let somebody come into our house and throw bodies around and send guys to blue tents and stuff like that. It's just like, this is our house. We got to protect our guys. Get around the ball. They're a physical bunch, and they were flying around trying to impose their will. And we had to react. We had to respond accordingly, man.
Yeah. Isaiah Pacheco said it brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
It'll do that. I remember last year when Isaac Seumalo went down with a pretty significant foot injury. I was crying after the game. Dude, it's an emotional game when you see somebody that you care about. That can be hard at times. Tony said, I was angry. I was kind of mad because I don't really like dirty plays. I feel like it gave the team a boost. It gave us something to play for, I guess you could say.
Yeah. No, then Joke is right on. He's right on with it, man. He like I said, it was definitely a momentum booster for them, and we had to match that and play that much more aggressive, knowing that what had just went down. And it makes you want to play harder for the guy that just got hit like that. Yeah. So I hear you on that, but what we did was we figured it out, man.
Let's get to a happier topic. Noah Gray and Kadarius Toney have their first receiving touchdowns of the season for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, baby. Everybody everybody saw Toney warming up, catching punts, adjusting his gloves. What can you tell us about? Yeah,
this dude Joker, man. When I don't know how the heck
is that his nickname, Joker?
The Joker, man. Joka. The Joker.
Is it in reference to the Batman?
That's a good question.
Or is it?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him. Where Joker came from.
Is he Is he funny?
Yeah, he's a great dude. I was blown away with how professional he was. When you get a trade like that, you think something, there's something that you have to weigh out or something that you have to, bring. Ever since he's been in the building, it has been, man, this dude's smart. Man, this dude's crazy athletic. Man, this guy has a lot of confidence. And when you have a lot of confidence, that means you understand what's going on out there. You're playing, you know what I mean? You're seeing things, you know how to attack it, and that goes back to being a smart player, a smart person. And he's just been a great teammate. I'll tell you what, man, the first couple of days I saw him catching punts in practice. It is the most casual. I've never seen anyone catch punts like this. I would assume that all the great ones do it like this, but usually you get a guy that punts in the air, they go sprinting back to where they think it's going to go, and then they're back there trying to adjust to it. Maybe there's a little wind aspect to it, and they're like, all right, should I step up? Should I step back? He is, as soon as the punt happens, he sees where it's going, casually just starts walking over. Doesn't even run, just is observing what's in front of him in terms of the defense or the punt team coming at him. and is just walking over to it, and then like 10 feet before it gets to him, finally gets ready and just snags it and is like in full gamer mode. Is one of the coolest things. It goes back to the catch that he had on the sideline. He's just over there mid route, just running, got two guys on him, like, nah, I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure these gloves are on tight so I can snag this thing out there. And it's like he gets up and just crazy athlete, unbelievable player when he gets the ball in his hands, and obviously can run great routes. Happy that he got his first touchdown in the National Football League. The first of many for sure, man.
So can you believe the Giants let Kadarius Toney go?
No, I don't know how he got out of that building. I just don't get it. I don't get it one bit. I don't understand. I don't even want to understand. I don't even want to know what happened over there. I am just extremely happy that Brett Veach found a way yet again to get an unbelievable talented player in this building.
Well, how nice is it to see a young player like Noah Gray have success as a guy who was a veteran when he came in? What's that feel like?
Oh, immediately. You're saying as a veteran being me as he comes in? Because he arguably is more professional than I have ever been in my career. And he holds me accountable in a lot of areas of like preparation and practice and things like that. The guy is just a fine-tuned football machine, man. Anything you need, baby, Noah Gray's got you, dog. And
not surprise me.
No, he's awesome, crazy athlete, understands defenses, understands run game and how to incorporate his techniques into the schemes. And a lot of that stuff is on the fly. There have been stuff that it's taken me years to be able to build an instinct to run a route a certain way or to block a guy a certain way that he's just been able to come in and immediately make it make sense in game time decisions and get the job done. And it's been awesome to have him in the building as well as Jody Fortson. Noah's progression has only made the entire room, that much better and that much more accountable, man. And I can't say enough about the guy. And sure enough, man, he's been making play after play. Last week you saw him on the third down or fourth down, downfield, making mossing a dude over the middle. Yesterday's game or this past game, finding the end zone and making a few big plays throughout the drives. And just can't say enough about the guy, man. I'm excited to see him keep finding new roles in the offense and keep coming up big for us, man.
All righty.
Those Duke Blue Devils, baby.
These days, no matter if you're a small business or an NFL franchise, every new potential hire can feel incredibly stressful. In my career, I've been lucky enough to work with some of the best in the business. But before you can work with the best, you need to find the best. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn Jobs makes it so easy with simple tools like screening questions that make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. The year's almost over. If you're looking to finish strong, you're going to need the right people on your team. So use LinkedIn Jobs to help you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/newheights. That's linkedin.com/newheights to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Well, Trav, I think you would agree that being an NFL player is an everyday gig, right?
Yeah. Eat, breathe, and sleep it, baby.
Well, our next partner has a product I use literally every day. I started taking Athletic Greens because I needed something that helped me keep up with all the nutrition I need to play football at a high level, but without having to keep track of a million pills and powders every day. So what is this stuff? With one scoop of AG1, you're getting 75 high-quality vitamins and minerals to help start your day off right. The special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging, all of these things. Basically, I wake up every day, I drop a scoop of AG1 into my shaker, and I'm good to go for the day.
All your greens right there?
All my greens, all my minerals, and all my vitamins. It costs you less than $3 a day, so it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. It's also cheaper and easier than getting all the different supplements yourself. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs for your first purchase.
Free!
All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/newheights. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/newheights. Take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Eagles 21, Commanders 32. Hand the Eagles the first loss of the season, and nobody saw this one coming. I'm not going to lie, man. I thought you guys were going to just handle business, take care of them on a Monday night, big game at the Link. What's the takeaway, brother?
We got beat. We got our asses kicked. We got to play better. We had too many mistakes on offense. Turnovers, I think missed assignments. It was a sloppy game for us offensively, defensively. Couldn't get off the field. And credit to Washington. They played their asses off. Heineke was dialed in, on point. McLaurin was all over the field, it looked like. They ran the ball and stuck to it. It was a really, really good performance by the Washington I was about to say football team, Commanders.
There was just something about that, and we'll get to talking about that final play or the final possession. The flag, the flag.
Listen, man,
the roughing the passer.
I've
never seen a quarterback get so excited because of a roughing the passer after he takes a knee like that one. I don't know why it rubbed me the wrong way, man. I was just like, I'm out of here. I just turned the TV off when he got excited like that. I was like, that's what we're getting excited for, man.
I don't know. The refs are getting a lot of critique, and
yeah,
dude, I cannot stand people blaming referees. That's like one of my pet peeves, like grinding my gears. We had so many opportunities to win that football game that we didn't control, that we didn't take care of.
100%.
That game shouldn't have even come down to that. If we take care of things offensively, if we don't have turnovers, there's a feeling now more than ever, and I think part of it's just because of replay and the ability to slow things down and everything's in high definition. So fans, it's very apparent when an official doesn't make the correct call or misses something, right?
Yeah.
Listen, man, officials ain't going to be perfect. They ain't going to make every call. And the reality is you got to go out there and play the game that's called.
100%.
Everybody's like, oh, that was a face mask on Dallas Goedert. No, it wasn't. You know why? Because they didn't fucking throw the goddamn flag. All right? So it wasn't a face mask. It really bothers me when people put things on officials. You got to control what you can control, and you got to play the game that's being called and the way it's going down out there. And it's a loser's mentality to put it on somebody else.
I'm with you, man.
It really bothers me when people put it on officials.
I've done it in the past. I've blamed games. I blamed a playoff loss against the Steelers to a ref and told him he couldn't even work at Foot Locker. I've said some of the silliest sore loser shit that anybody could ever say, and I'm right there with you, man. It's ignorance.
In the moment, you're going to be pissed off. Well, moment, you're going to be pissed off. But the reality is, there's so many other moments in the game. The game is
60 minutes.
Yeah.
The entire time. Yeah. There's so many plays that could have.
The refs didn't have anything to do with the turnovers that we committed. Well, the one with Dallas, but didn't have much to do with the inefficiency of our offense. They didn't have anything to do with our defense not getting off the field on third down. These are things that killed us. All right.
Got to have the mentality. Can't put it in their hands.
We got to get better. That's the bottom line. We did not play a good game. They came out with energy. They came out with excitement. They came out ready to go. And they beat us. They're a well-coached team. I know the Commanders are like one of the laughing stocks of the league organizationally because of what's going on with Dan Snyder and all that stuff. Let me tell you this. Ron Rivera is still a good coach. Jack Del Rio is still a good coach.
Yeah.
They got some good players on defense, and they got some great players on offense. And they went out there and they beat us. And, we got to go back and watch the tape, get better, and move on to next week. I mean, it was a very unacceptable performance by the Philadelphia Eagles this past week.
The biggest stat line for me was the time of possession.
Yeah.
Washington 40 minutes, Philly 19. When I tell you they had twice as much possession time than you guys had, and that is huge when you have a great offense. When you have a great offense, taking that that offense off the field or limiting those possessions as much as possible. Because now it's just it's draining. The offense can't get a rhythm, and that's frustrating as an offense. And sometimes you try and do more because you're not getting all those possessions, and you feel like that time is running out. You got to get things going. It puts a little bit more, I don't know. I don't want to say stress, but it definitely makes you feel like you got to get the shit going more and more.
You got to be perfect.
Yeah,
you're going to be. It limits your opportunities. It's hard to get in a rhythm. I mean, there's a reason why they did that. That was not like that was happenstance. Their goal was clearly to run the ball and to put together long drives and keep our offense off the field. And they did that.
Yeah.
And that's obviously one way to stop a great offense is to just don't let them out on the field. And we didn't help matters by going 3 and out to start the second half. We didn't help matters by not producing on offense.
Yeah.
So that stat is two ways. It's not just the defense. That's us not being efficient on offense and putting together long drives
to
in
help
return.
that defense out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's we actually had 4 turnovers. We had more turnovers in this game than we've had all season.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's
3 turnovers this game. You had 3 in the previous 8 games.
We actually had 4 if you count the last minute the fluke touchdown at the end. But
that's crazy.
It's listen, the big reasons why we've been so successful up until this point is our offense has been very efficient. Our defense has been good, but the main thing we've done is we've taken care of the football, and we did not do that this past week. It's the number one stat that determines wins and losses. So
I will say this though, fuck it, the sneak still works, baby. You guys, shout out to the Eagles for throwing it up on social media, man. Our stat of 92%. Which 92%. Is now officially a stat. Okay, we've created.
It's always been officially a stat.
92%. 92%. All right, nice, man.
Official.
The QB sneak stat will not completely made up. Sounds like there's some analytics behind it.
The Bills and Vikings might be dragging it down a little bit, but
it just showed what the 8% of the sneak really looks like. Yeah. Right on. Is the 17-0 talk being over actually like good? Like, does it kind of make everybody feel more at ease, or were you guys even thinking about that? In the building, were you guys talking like, yeah, we might be able to do this, or were you guys just taking one game at a time?
No, we weren't talking about it. We were just trying to go one game at a time, and I don't know. I don't know if it's good or bad. I sure wish that we were still trying to be 17-0 or undefeated. I think, at no point were we trying to be 17-0. We're just trying to win the next game.
Yeah. I feel like that gets hyped up way too much. Like, every single team goes into every single season trying to go 17-0, thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to win every single game. Look at you. You look at the schedule, say, yeah, that's a game we could win. That's a game we can win. That's a game we can win. I look at every single schedule that I've ever had and be like, man, we can go 17-0. We can go 16-0 right here. And you find out over the course of a season how to become the best team possible by the end of the year. And sometimes, those losses, like we learned a lot from the Colts loss this year, which I think is a very similar loss to what you guys just had against the Commanders in terms of, a team that everyone thought you should have easily won that game, or go in there, and if you guys handle business, take care of business, and don't hurt yourselves, you guys come out victorious. But it's one of those situations where sometimes when you take L's like that, or you find yourself in adverse situations, you find out how not to do things. And sometimes finding ways how not to do shit is better than just keep learning on the run.
Yeah, it's good. And it's a good wake up call. It's a good wake up call that we're not where we need to be right now. We're not as good as anybody is telling us we are. We got a lot of things to improve on, and if we want to be as good as we can be at the end of the year, we got a lot of work to do. So
Well, fully expect you guys to bounce back. You and Miles Teller. Pre-game, man. There was a cool video of you guys chopping it up before the game. You want to talk to us about that, or what were you guys talking about?
We're talking about his jersey. He had a 62 game jersey from back when Reebok used to sponsor the
What?
NFL.
It's
Yeah.
like this is like 2011, 2012?
It would have been my first 2 years in the league, I think. Because when you came in the league, Nike was.
We've been Nike.
You've only
thank
been
God,
Nike, right?
Man. Thank God I didn't wear that.
Well, let me tell you, the Reebok jerseys were awesome. Just gonna say, the Nike jerseys are cool. They're more slender, got a little stretch to them.
More slender.
But the reason the Reebok jerseys were great, or at least the Eagles version of it, was the way it was cut on the shoulders and stitched. When that thing stuck on the Velcro on the shoulder pads, nobody was grabbing you.
So those of you that don't understand, a lot of guys in the league, because of that situation right there, like the ability to grab someone's jersey, even if it's inside blocking, being able to grab someone's jersey, not necessarily outside or to the point where you would get a holding penalty, but you're still trying to grab somebody. We use Velcro on the outside of our pads for the jersey to stick on to our pads.
I don't want nobody grabbing me.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of limits the opportunity for someone to be able to get a good jersey grab. Because, I mean, if someone takes you right here, I mean, it's hard to
get
move
off
around. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's one little trick that not a lot of people know, that there's Velcro underneath that jersey to help it stick to the pads.
But the Nike jersey stretch, so you can kind of pull it a little bit easier off the Velcro. The Reebok stuck down harder, I thought. So
you think that helps you though when you're like, it kind of helps you a little bit? Because how much are you really getting grabbed? Like, guys are trying to like keep you off of them more, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't hold, so I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
I mean, you can't. You only got 9 fingers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not never been called a holder in my life. I think
erroneous.
Yeah, Kevin Green, rest in peace. Longtime sack leader up there. He used to tape Clay Matthews shoulder pads before every game with the Velcro and tape and adhesive. He's like, hey man, if they can't hold you, they can't block you. That's how big of a difference this makes.
Yeah.
And
Michael Bennett theory, just wear the smallest set of shoulder pads. You can't grab them, man. You can't control a big dude like that with like little pads on him.
That's right. I don't know where we're going with this, but I just know that I love those old Reebok jerseys, and that's what Miles had on. That's what we were talking about before the game. I was letting him know. So
nice. Well, shout out Miles, man. We always love bringing him up. He might be a fun guy to have on the show.
He'd be great to have on the show. Yeah.
So he's got a lot of stuff going on outside of the
he's a busy man.
The sports world, but he is very, very active in the Philly sports world. That's for damn sure.
He'd be a fun guy to have on outside of the sports world, but still knows something about it and have a fun conversation, no doubt. Speaking of things going on around the NFL, let's talk about some storylines.
Yeah.
NFLPA shared our New Heights clip on the SaferFields.
They were listening in on the convo, huh?
Well, it wasn't just us. There are a lot of players around the league voicing their opinion this past week, and there's been some unfortunate injuries, including Zach Ertz just went down this past week, which I don't know, was that on turf or not? Where were they playing?
That's a good question. I'm not sure where Arizona played. That one absolutely ripped my heart out, man.
But anyways, the NFLPA wrote a letter calling for the immediate replacement and ban of slit film turf fields throughout the league. I have no idea what a slit film field is.
I didn't know there was different turf. I didn't know there was different styles, and
I knew there was AstroTurf and I knew there was field turf, which I think everybody just calls field turf now because AstroTurf is like that's
old
part
school.
of
ancient.
Part of a barbaric era. It's no longer acceptable.
Field hockey still uses it, but
you only use it for doggy potties and field hockey. That's pretty much the only thing AstroTurf gets used for anymore. I think I don't know what slip film is. I just kind of lump all turf fields together. I don't know why we need to differentiate slip film versus dual. What is it? What's the other one called? Dual fiber, monofilm. Just get rid of all of it. I don't really get this. I don't
get it either. They're saying that the slip film slip film turf, those have the higher percentage of injuries, though, right?
That's what they're saying. Yeah, that's the one that they know for sure has an increased risk of injury. I'm not sure which fields they are. I know that the New York field at MetLife, that's one of them. which is the worst field on the planet.
That one's not a fun one to play on.
Obviously, these turfs are terrible, but there is something to be said about a bad grass field too. The Steelers back in the day, and they shared that field with everybody, used to have some of the worst grass in college when we used to play there, especially.
Yeah. I don't necessarily remember running around on it and feeling, like I'm slipping around or I just feel like when I looked at it, it was just dirt.
Looked torn up. That's a good point.
I feel like they were playing high school games on Fridays, and then Saturday the Pitt Panthers were playing, and then Sundays came around, and like the turf had just been absolutely destroyed by the high school and college games, and it was like they were just putting sand and dirt to kind of fill all the patched up grass that had been missing. So I'm not sure if it gets better as the season goes along, because the high school and college seasons end before the NFL season does. But
it's the same way in Philadelphia. We share the field with Temple, and while Temple's still playing on it, the field gets tore up.
That's one luxury of being in Kansas City, man. They take care of this field. It is one of the nicest.
Well, you guys don't have any universities out there, so you're not sharing it with anybody.
They're around, but I hear you.
People don't go to school in Kansas City. What
I'm not arguing it either. Shout out to UMKC, man. Kansas is down the road. They're 45 minutes away.
How far is Missouri?
Missouri's 3.5, 4 hours the other way. They're closer to St. Louis.
Gotcha. Well, how about the worst field that I can remember while I've been in the league? The old Raiders field, which actually you've got to remember playing on that.
I thought, going into the game, because you only get September typically. I mean, the A's haven't been notoriously good for a while now, and they only played up until September, like the end of the season. They were playing not a lot of postseason ball out there, but I hadn't played on their baseball field until the last season that they had the Coliseum as their home stadium. So I think it was like 2019, might have been. Yeah, I think it was 2019. And I got so fucking torn up in that game. I mean, there was it's like the middle of the field, like the 50-yard line is right where second base to third base is, and then the end zone on one of the end zones is just straight like warning track.
Yeah.
So anytime you get tackled, it's like exactly where it is. Like, you guys got to realize, when baseball players play on this field, they water the field. They water the dirt like every 3 to 4 innings, so that if guys slide on the dirt, it doesn't just absolutely rip their skin off or put a hole in their pants, their baseball pants, because the dirt can get so freaking hard.
Right.
Well, in the football games, they're not watering that shit. They're just letting everybody run around on it. So you're literally and your cleats, they don't necessarily grab. It's like you're almost playing on cement once you get on the actual dirt. It's like it gets so hard that you're like, you don't even have really good grip and you're slipping around. So if you catch the ball on the dirt, like, the first thing you're thinking of is, get the fuck off this dirt before you get tackled,
Yeah, right.
It's like, get me the fuck out of here. I caught a ball in the end zone and got dragged down, and thank goodness I caught it, because I would have felt like a jabroni for dropping it and getting this freaking just entire 4 layers of skin just ripped off of my shin. And I had that for the rest of the season. Every single time I got tackled, I feel like it just reopened the wound. It was miserable, man. I came out of that game wearing half of the dirt that I was sliding around on. It was cool. I went into it thinking, man, I finally get to play on the baseball field, man. This shit's sweet, man. I used to watch guys play on the dual sport fields all the time growing up, and I always thought it was sweet. And Uncle Don told me right before, he was like, yeah, don't get too excited, man. It'll probably be the last time you want to play on this shit. And sure enough, I came out of the game. I was like, Uncle Don, you ain't lying, baby. That shit sucked.
No fun.
Willie, it wasn't no fun.
Well, why did the players approach it on Twitter this time, at this point, do you think? Just the amount of injuries?
I think the amount of injuries, it's kind of been a progressing, like, build up to this point. There's been a lot of players that have voiced their opinion on it. A guy like Cam Jordan actually went against our theories on
He likes the
Instagram.
slip film. Cam Jordan, fan of the slip film.
he feels that he gets more traction and that grass.
It's a better get off.
Yeah, he gets on grass that he's got way too much torque, too much power to let the grass kind of just slips out and it doesn't grab as much for him. So he gets more torque to be more explosive on the field with turf, and that's the first time I've ever heard that. So I don't know.
Note to myself.
Not gonna argue.
I hope we always play Cam on grass. Where are we out next, Trav?
Moving on to the Germany game. Tampa beats Seattle. It was a fun game to watch. Tom Brady had an opportunity to go up and make a play on the ball with the ball in the air. They ran a double pass, or they ran a play where they were supposed to throw it back to Tom Brady running down the sideline. I thought was hilarious quote from him after the game. He said, "Man, if I didn't slip, I was about to Randy Moss this dude, man." I was just like, Tom, there's no way you're going up top on this dude. That would have been awesome to watch.
I would have loved to see that.
And I'm not going to lie. I think we ran a similar play where Sammy Watkins threw it back to Pat Mahomes, and didn't work out for Pat either. So I don't know. I don't know if the QB down the sideline's the move anymore, man. You could get away with that back in the day, but
that's the Philly special, baby. It always works.
All right, Philly special. Yeah.
Listen, I mean, the TB12 method. I think he might be able to get up top with the TB12.
Ooh, he gave him saving his bounce.
Keeps those Achilles
fresh. Bounce.
Keeps those Achilles fresh. It's part of the TB12 method.
Fresh Achilles, baby. The NFL says more than 3 million people requested for tickets for a stadium that only holds 67,000.
3 million?
Yeah, that's how many.
That's a real stat?
Many. That's what the NFL says. I guess.
I had no idea. I mean, I'm a little blown away. I had no idea Germany was so big. Actually, I did. You know, I've heard Germany is actually really, really big into football. They're very engineered. I mean, when I think of Germany, I think of automotive, mechanical, mathematical, and I feel like
strategy. Yeah.
I feel like football would definitely suit that type of mindset.
Yeah, like that chess culture. Mentality. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know if they're big chess.
No, me neither. But I feel like that's a similar mentality. You know what I mean? There's a lot of thought that goes into strategy, and you know what I mean.
Did you know you're already on a billboard in Germany?
Yeah, that was sweet, man. That was pretty freaking cool.
How about that?
It says coming soon.
International star Travis Kelce.
Yeah, baby. The Yeti's coming to you, man.
Can you say anything in German?
Yeah.
Can you say anything in schnitzel? That's not I think that's just a sausage,
like a pretzel, right?
Oh, no. I think a schnitzel is like a fried item. You don't know anything else?
I know Oktoberfest. Or is that Beer Fest?
Well, it's a little bit of both, but it's definitely called Oktoberfest. But I don't know if do they call it Oktoberfest? Or is that an Americanized?
Well, it sounds like I don't know shit. Do you know anything?
Yeah. No, but I've always wanted to. It's been a fascinating thing to hear.
We did see that Tom Brady playing in Germany. His quote was, "That was one of the great football experiences I have ever had." Says a lot of football in the 23 years in the league, and the fans' turnout was incredible.
Well, speaking of the fan turnout, do we think Germany has had the best international fan turnout? It's tough to say without honestly, being there.
Yeah, I thought watching the game that I heard the crowd a lot more than I would have at when I watched games that were in London. So I think it was probably a little bit more rowdy for a guy like Brady to mention.
Yeah, for Tom to mention it, that means something.
Yeah,
100%. The only place I've played is in London. You played in Mexico City as well.
Yeah. I might be one of the first guys, or one of the only guys to score a touchdown in 3 different countries.
You haven't already done that?
No, I've already done that. So I might I might get a chance to do 4 if we actually end up playing in Germany next year, which would be pretty cool.
That's cool. What, do you get like a trophy or something if that happens?
No, just another random stat. You know what I mean? I call them the LeBron stats, man. Just stats that really
just add it up.
Just add, yeah. They find a way to make it a stat and make it more than what it is.
Should just give you a statue of like Carmen Sandiego. It's like you're a world traveler or something like that. Where's Trav catching a touchdown at this week? He's in Germany.
Shut the fuck.
Where in the world is Travis catching touchdowns.
Ooh, Tom Brady became the first QB to win in 4 different countries. So I might be able
How about that?
I might be able to add to that one too. Might be the only.
So I guess Tom's getting the Carmen Sandiego trophy. I'll mail it to you, Tom.
Tom Sandiego.
All right. Potential game of the year ruins the quarterback sneak agenda that we have started on the show.
Hell of a game, though.
I got to say, 2 of the worst quarterback sneaks I've seen in a long time. Bills, Vikings. When it matters most. 4th and goal. Game on the line.
Oh, man.
Vikings.
We talked about this. We talked about this, Jalen. Jalen said it himself.
It's the right call, I think. Just didn't execute. Got stuffed. Bills D came up big.
That's a big-time stop, too. Shout out to the Bills, man.
But one of the benefits of getting stuffed on a QB sneak, it's on
the inch.
It's right out of that end zone.
It is right.
And you know as well as I do, when you're coming out as an offense and it's on that yard line, everybody's buttholes are just a little bit tighter, you know? You got some tight buttholes on that half-inch yard line. And that butthole might have got Josh Allen's hands a little bit off out of sync because
should ate that
popcorn. Oh man, fumble Ruski on the QB sneak, which is something that happens quite often because obviously you got to get a lean going. That center quarterback exchange can be crucial. And I mean, gosh, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Absolute dagger.
I wonder if that's the first. I wonder if that's the first fumbled QB sneak for a touchdown. Do you think?
No, there had to have been a situation like that before in the NFL where they're on the inch-yard line and they try and do something like that.
Probably get safety, but what are the chances you fumble it?
I can only imagine at that point in the game how big of a dagger that was.
And for them to come back,
for them to come back and still score,
still tie it up,
to send it into OT. I mean, that shout out to them to be able to regroup. You know what I mean, and find a way to extend the game. But damn,
yeah, I was amazed at the Bills. Just again,
I would say, Vikings finally won in an OT, and Pat Peterson had 2 huge picks, and obviously the turnovers for Josh Allen. He's kicking himself still probably for it. You saw how frustrated he was after the game. Another helmet toss. Gotta love it. He slammed his. I rolled mine. I bowled mine. But he's a great player. He just got caught kind of being a little aggressive there in the red zone, knowing he had one of his best receivers, one of his most accountable receivers, one-on-one with a corner on a post. And it was just a hell of a play by Pat Pete at the end of the game to just seal the game away, man.
Yeah, I mean, and it was an outstanding game to watch. One of the most exciting games I've seen this year. What made it more exciting was Mama Kelce was in the house.
Mama!
And she was in town visiting for our game on Monday. And she was rooting for the Bills because you and the Bills were tied.
No, she was the other way. She was rooting for the Vikings to win.
Yeah, sorry. She was rooting for the Vikings. I was rooting for the Bills because obviously we wanted to be further ahead of the Vikings, which now we're tied with.
And Mom loves me more, so she was rooting for the Vikings so that the Bills would be a game back and we would finally be first place in the
She was just rooting because you guys are already tied. You guys are already tied. We were still ahead of the Vikings, so she wanted you guys to be first place.
She wanted
Either way, it made those sneaks. I mean, we were kind of going back and forth at each other. You know, it was like, in your face, Mom! Yeah!
You're so bad. You're just so
And then the Bills just completely screwed the pooch with their tight buttholes.
She gave a yippee after the last interceptions. Oh, yip.
She did. She did the patented Mama yippee.
Yippee. Yes. What a sweetheart. Love you, Mom. All right, let's move on. We were talking about the sneak earlier. What are they doing wrong on the sneak? Is there like a tack? I mean, you guys are pretty flawless with it. You got anything to say what helps with it or what hurts? Like, is it that like I don't want to say hard of a play, but is there like a secret sauce to the play or something? Like, why are you guys so much better than everybody else at doing it?
Time out. You want me to give away quarterback sneak strategy on our podcast.
I can't imagine that there's much to it other than snapping the freaking ball and just pushing as hard as you can.
Yeah, that's because you guys don't run the quarterback sneak. All right, listen, there's a lot that goes into it, and if you don't want your quarterback's knee to go sideways, look at that. It's so complicated. Your guy's quarterback couldn't even do it without his knee falling off. All right,
stop it. There's nothing. Pat. There's First of all,
it's one of the most intricate plays. I mean, it's a crucial play. There's a lot that goes into it.
What? You gotta say it, dude. You gotta say it. I cannot imagine that there's anything that mind blowing about a QB sneak.
I'm not saying you're right. I'm not going to say it because I'm not giving any defense the keys to stopping that play. I'm going to keep doing what we're doing and letting it roll.
I love that you're making this one fucking play, the most simple play in the offensive book. Something that's
simple, the most simple.
Yes.
Listen,
snap the ball and move forward. What is more simple than that?
See, this is why you guys don't run the quarterback sneak. This is why you guys don't do it. There is detail in it. There is a lot of things that go into the quarterback sneak to make it successul, and everything has to run in unison. Everything has to be synced up. And I'm telling you what, it's a lot more complicated than running a freaking hitch route. All right, I'll tell you that right now. Running 6 yards.
Look at you.
Is it 6 yards?
6 yards is that hitch? Yeah, sure. If you want it to be. I mean,
what is it in your guys' playbook?
In our playbook, it's get open on time. That's 95% of all the routes. Yeah, that's 95% of all the routes with Pat Mahomes. Just get open.
So if your route is a hitch route and it's 3rd and 8, you're running at the sticks, right?
Yeah, we're probably not calling that play if it's 3rd.
That makes sense. Yeah. What am I doing? That's stupid, Jason.
You kind of just answered your own question there.
What do you? Yeah. So if you. Anyways, there's a lot that goes into the quarterback sneak. All right, just ask the Bills and the Vikings. Huh? If it's so simple, huh? Most simple play in the playbook until you need to do it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think it's baloney, but whatever. All right, moving on. So, man, this is never an easy topic to talk about, man. Derek Carr at the podium, just pouring out his feelings of a frustrating 2-7 season with a lot of expectations. Obviously, we all put a bunch of effort and a bunch of emotion and a bunch of hard work into it. A lot of guys battle through soreness and injuries and discomfort to the point where it's like that could bring tears to you itself, over the course of the season. But is there any crying? Is it acceptable to just, I don't know, cut it loose or let it loose? I know I've cried, but for the most part, all my crying has been like crying of happiness and like overcoming and, being appreciative of the success I'm having and stuff like that. And like after the Super Bowl, I was boo-hooing. I don't think I've ever cried after a loss, but what do you think it's acceptable?
I've teared up when teammates have been hurt or been going through things.
Yeah.
I tear up when I'm talking, whenever you're sometimes with really big triumphant moments, impactful moments in your career and your team. I think sometimes these things can be overwhelming and very emotional. And I've been known to cry for sure. I've done it at numerous press conferences. I did it after the Super Bowl. I've done it. For me, it almost always happens when I'm thinking about either our family, my teammates, the trajectory of a season. So, this guy clearly puts a lot of effort into all of this, and
he's invested, man.
It's frustrating when it doesn't pay off,
especially when he's the one that's being held accountable for a lot of the shit that's going on. That shit it probably just got at him to the point where he couldn't hold it back, man. But that shit sucks. It sucks.
Speaking of crying, do you hear my 1-year-old right now?
Oh, baby L. Baby L, she heard it. She heard we were talking about Derek Carr right now.
Yeah. Sounds a lot like Derek Carr.
Yeah, she's very invested in her sleep. And
if only her teammates tried as hard as she did.
That's so great. All right, moving on to New Heights Stamp of the Week, baby. This is how we do it. Jason and I, we give a shout-out to anybody taking their game to new heights. It could be in the NFL, college, high school, it doesn't matter. We're showcasing anybody taking their game to the next level, baby. And mine this week, my guy Cole Kmet of the Chicago Bears, baby, coming out of a unfortunately close loss, but 4 receptions, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns, a huge touchdown. Got the bulk of his yardage on one of them, absolutely wide open, ran a great route, and I'm just happy to see that guy taking the next step, man. Finally, I think he's got 5 or 6 touchdowns this year alone, which is the second most out of all the tight ends. And I'm just happy to see him keep progressing, man. Great guy, plays his tail off. I think he embodies that city, the toughness, and he's definitely, a guy that I thought was going to take the league by storm. Very big dude, looks kind of like that Gronk, physical built, and just toughness. And sure enough, man, Cole, shout out to you taking your game to new heights, baby. I'm proud of it. Let's keep
Way to go, Cole.
Going. Tight end you, baby.
Way to go, Cole. Okay, I got Jeff Saturday. I was a little nervous. I didn't know if I wanted. You know what? Well, I was a little bit iffy because we're playing the Colts this week and whether I was going to go with Jeff. But, I mean, in the true what this stamp is supposed to be, taking your game to new heights, this is the only thing Jeff hasn't done. I mean, he's been a Pro Bowl player.
Perennial.
He's played for over a decade, won a Super Bowl. He's a Hall of Fame candidate almost every year. This guy, and then he's first time as a coach against the Las Vegas Raiders. What does he do? Gets a win. Gets a dub despite all the shenanigans all week. I mean, we talked about it on our podcast about how odd of a move it was. And some other people were very harsh. He found a way to get it done. I thought he answered questions great. I thought he had great press conferences and addressing all this and just keeping the team focused. And they got their first dub.
Yeah,
under Jeff.
You could see the way they were playing. They were playing for a lot more, man. You can see their backs were against the wall. They felt like they had to rally to come together. I think that, bringing Jeff in, great leader, team first guy. That entire mentality. Not to take anything away from what Frank Wright did or anything like that, but sometimes change is good, man, and it can spark a freaking fire that just wasn't there. But I can't say too much about the Colts because we lost to them, and I think that is a very talented football team, and it doesn't surprise me that they rallied together because they got a lot of great players over there, man.
No doubt. Well, let's look ahead to next week.
Yeah, talking about the Colts, man.
Yeah.
Eagles at Colts. So you guys are going to Indianapolis, playing in the Dome. How do you prep for a game or for a team with a brand new head coach?
I don't know how it's going to change. Obviously, they were fired up last week to play the Raiders. I think largely they're going to be a similar team, especially on defense. I can't speak for the offense, but Jeff isn't going to go in there and drastically change the defensive philosophy of the football team in a week, right?
Right.
I think what he's going to do is bring a different level of organization, motivation, and things like that, which will make a difference in how the team ultimately plays. But for us and how we're preparing, it's not going to be any different with Jeff Saturday as a coach. We're just going to prepare for what we see on tape, what we see from them as players, and go out there and play it like it's any week.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. He made a comment on the Pat McAfee show. Shout out to the Pat McAfee show that he challenged the O-line. He came in and said, you guys have to step it up, And coming from a guy like that, a perennial, you were just kind of naming all the accolades that he's accomplished as a player.
Yeah,
you can appreciate that challenge. You know what I mean? The real ones, the guys with the right mentality, if they say something to you, it hits a little bit different than maybe somebody who didn't play or wasn't in your shoes at some point in their career. And I think that it just matters, man. It matters, and if you got the right group of guys, you answer the freaking bell. And sure enough, they obviously did coming out with the win.
I mean, if there's one group that immediately is going to give Jeff Saturday the respect of what he's earned as a player, it's going to be the offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, he's immediately got that. And, if he's calling you out, that he thinks that you can do better. He knows that he knows what the offensive line is capable of out there. And Indianapolis has had a great offensive line for a long time. And, sometimes you need to light a fire up under him. And, it certainly seems to have paid off.
Yeah. Well, we know he's going to keep everyone accountable. As he kept Peyton Manning, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever in the league, kept that man accountable while he was playing. I remember you were telling me a Jeff Saturday story, your first year in the league, or one of your first couple years in the league, that he kind of helped out in terms of like a mentor almost, or just a voice of reason for you at a younger age or at the beginning of your career.
Yeah, well, my first offensive line coach was Howard Mudd, who coached Jeff his entire career, I think, in Indianapolis. And, after my first season, Howard he was like, "Hey, do you want to talk to Jeff?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, I'd be honored to take any advice he could have." So, I went up to his place and we talked ball for a little bit. And he actually just texted me a couple months ago, saying how, he was wishing us luck and, thought we were having a great season. So, unfortunately, I don't think he's wishing us luck this week, but I think Jeff's a great person, a great dude. He was a great player, and I think he's always gone out of his way to try and help me, and I'm sure he's done that for a lot of guys. So, great dude.
Sounds like a great dude to me, man. And obviously the Colts come together, and they look like they love playing for him, man, because that sideline was hyped. The guys looked like they were rallying, playing for each other. It's a different world, man.
Yeah. Well, Chiefs at the Chargers. Sunday night football. We got a little in-division game. November 8th, announced the game was flexed to Sunday night over the Bengals. Yeah. When did you find this out?
The same time everybody else did.
It just kind of happens right when it gets announced.
Yeah, it was like, oh, wow, we got another primetime game. I think it's our 7th primetime game, so we are officially not getting flexed to primetime anymore.
Well, aren't you the popular one? Yeah, what do you like the ability to flex games? Do you like the ability to flex games?
I love the ability to flex to flex home games. To flex an away game in LA to where I don't get back until 4 a.m.
God, that's a good point,
man.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's going to be just a long ride back, and at a point in the season where you were hoping you could just get to the house, put your feet up after a game. But we signed up for this thing, and I can't get mad about playing on national television, man. Being the only game on, and getting to showcase, being able to go out there, put on for Cleveland Heights, University of Cincinnati, all the friends and family that have been in my corner my entire life. I love playing primetime games, man. I can't get enough of them. So I'm not mad that we're getting flexed. I just wish it was for a home game instead of an away game.
Are you excited? Let's get to the real question. Are you going to wear your wrestling knee pads and boots in your preparation to see Derwin James again? You going to have your Rey Mysterio mask on?
I'm gonna have the leather diaper, my high leather boots, maybe some wristbands,
some elbow pads. Get the rock
elbow
pads. Yeah, baby.
If I get in the end zone, I might have to do the people's elbow now, man.
Are you going to try and jump over Derwin James again? Maybe.
Me jumping over people is it's starting to kind of calm down. I landed on my fucking head 2 games ago, and I'm still feeling that shit. Yeah, still feeling it. So the fun stuff throughout the it's funny because when you get flipped like that, there's a point in like the you getting flipped that just everything freezes. Like the time freezes, and there's so much going through your head, and it's right before you hit the ground. Yeah. And it's like, no. And then it freezes like the old Saved by the Bell, where it's like everything freezes and you're talking into the camera and about the situation that's about to occur. And you're just like, this isn't good. Oh, no, my neck. Try and tuck the neck. And you can't tuck the neck. And all of a sudden, you just get this full shock wave going through your neck into your spine. And luckily enough, the adrenaline and some of the anti-inflammatories I was on got me through the game. But, man, I couldn't look left for about an entire week. I'm over here turning my shoulders, Patty Mahomes was making fun of me in my routes during practice. He was like, dude, it's taking you like you're trying to turn a semi-truck around a corner, around a tight bend, trying to run these routes right now, snapping your head around. I'm just starting to laugh like, man, I heard this from Andre Miller, a legendary Cavalier, but played in the league NBA for forever. And they asked him, the longevity, what can you, we can you speak on in terms of how healthy you've been and how you stayed in the league so long? He said, man, just stay on the ground, man. You don't leave the ground. A lot of shit, you eliminate a lot of that stuff, the wear and tear on the knees, the how you're going to fall, there's a lot of things you can eliminate. And sure enough, I think I play a lot better when my feet are in the ground than when I'm upside down landing on my head.
Yeah, let's stick to the Wesley Snipes law, which is that white men can't jump, and let's stay on the ground. All right.
Don't forget how that movie ended, Jason.
That's right.
Woody Harrelson. They definitely lowered the rim to like 8 feet.
I mean, we can pretend.
It's like when I was in the backyard every single day practicing basketball, and Dad would yell from the kitchen, "Put the hoop up to 10 feet." I'm just like, Dad, I can't reach it up there. I gotta work on my dunking.
Only I could dunk when we were growing up.
You definitely cannot dunk.
I'm a dunking machine. What are you talking about?
Jason, you used to try dunking every single day after lifting in college, and I've never seen you successfully.
That was once I was 280 pounds.
You would just rip
once I was
the
290
calluses
pounds.
off your hand, and your entire hand would be bleeding by the end of the basketball shoot around.
That's just because my hand was so muscular I could no longer palm the ball. So I just had to like try and slam it down in like a pancake, like a
Burger
flapjack.
King hands, man. Burger King hands.
No, the opposite of Burger King hands. These are this is caveman
The Rock.
hands.
The Rock. Yeah, The Rock was saying calloused up.
Oh yeah.
Right on, baby. Right on.
All righty. Well, that about wraps up the 12th episode of New Heights.
Woo!
So make sure you're subscribed on YouTube to the New Heights channel so you know when the new videos come out, and listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Once again, New Heights is a Jukes original presented by Wave Sports and Entertainment. Make sure you follow the show on all social media at New Heights Show for fun clips throughout the week. And as always, thank you to our production, man. We honestly cannot do this without you, and we appreciate everything you guys do, man. You guys make us look good when we know we're not. But we're learning, and we appreciate the guidance. So shout out to everybody helping make this thing run.
Thanks, guys.
Until the next time, peace.